So have you ever wanted to play a modern day Monster Rancher? I know I have. I get that feeling all the time. It's just so addictive where you just keep training and training and trying to get your monster to win all those tournaments and to constantly rank up all the way up to S. And then you get that sad moment where they just die and you try to get the motivation to do it all over again. Or on the flip side, you don't let them die, and you raise two monsters and combine them to make a strong child. Well, that was at least my experience with Monster Rancher 2. Now, what if I told you there's a game similar to all that? Without the death of your monsters, and you get six of them at once. That is the experience you will get with Siralim 3, a new Steam Early Access game, and the core focus on this episode of Is It Worth It? Okay, so the main thing that pulled me into this game is the monster aspect of this game. They promise over 700 different monsters, and that really got me. When you actually get into the game, you start out with basically just one monster, your castle is being attacked by another kingdom, and you get to pick from a class of 5. Then a god gives you an egg depending on what class you picked. Some not so witty banner follows, and you get into your first real combat. And you're like, wow, there are a lot of options that just don't do anything. So all you can do right now is attack. After the first couple of battles, you get another monster, also associated with your class. Two pretty unique monsters, honestly, that you won't see duplicates of. Now, the fun part of the game begins after this tutorial section. You are tasked with hunting down the other kingdom's champions, while also getting favor with numerous gods on each of the lands. And a cool game mechanic where you basically get to extract the souls of almost any non-boss monster you find. Then, when you go to reborn them under your banner, you notice that every single monster has its own trait or special passive ability. However, this is the best and worst part of the game. The abilities are all over the place. Some synergize with one another, and others, aka these two are the worst in the game, they appear early in the game, and they continue to be around for the rest of the main story. One of them cuts your magic points in half, and the other one gives 30% stats for everyone else in the party. It's just the worst thing ever. I enjoy the synergies, but besides that, most just seem random for all the other monsters. There are more problems with this game, so I'm just gonna fling it in your face like a monkey. Because it's just garbage. Okay, so let me give you something to compare this to. Have you ever played Persona 3? And you keep going up and up and up Tartarus, and you notice eventually that all the floors are basically the same layout with a new look and a change in monsters slightly? Well, that is this entire game, besides the sometime new monster that pops out. All and I mean all, are almost exactly the same, with the same monsters for the most part just leveled up. This is not fun. That part of Persona 3 wasn't fun. But what is fun in Persona? At least in that game, you get a morbid story with one of my all-time favorite conclusions. But in this, you get a story that a ninth grader could have conceived, and I get it, I get it. The story isn't the main part of this game. But then my question is, what is the main part in this game? Here's what you get in this game. You get the grind. Infuse monster to a monster that is just a recolored version of a monster that you already have, because there are around 5 reskins of every single monster in the game. And a conclusion which, if I'm honest, I don't even want to find out because I don't feel like grinding anymore. More than half of my playtime in this game is me grinding. Who makes a game just to grind in? This is not a fun experience, and yes, some of the early game content you have to grind for. Here are some of the other things you have to grind for. In each realm, which is a series of 3 to 4 floors, there's a god. Around 18 or so in total. And well, you have a quest on each of these floors that you have to complete before you go to the next. And this quest grants you favor with the god. And various other things you do on the floor can give you favor. And when you get favor, you can find tokens and use those tokens to get god rewards, which means you have to do these low-level floor grinds over and over and over if you want all the god rewards. Does that sound fun? And this isn't just like I gotta do the floor about like 5 times. You have to do the floor about 40 times to get enough tokens to get all the things you want and to just get enough favor with the god himself or herself. It's just so ridiculous and it's so mind-boggling that anyone would actually want to do that. Okay. One of the main things I was looking forward to in this game was a promised arena mode. And if you watched my last video, you know I love the draft. In the arena mode is where you get to draft a team of units to fight, and you go through rounds versus a computer. I think there's around like 4 rounds. And depending on how well you do, you get rewards. You get points that you could exchange for items or special monsters. Well, this mode also sucks. It's not a draft of all of the 700 plus promised monsters in the game. It's a draft of all the monsters you have in your storage. It just makes you feel like, why am I doing this arena mode when I could just be using those monsters from my storage and actually leveling them up and continuing the main game? There's no point. I could try all the synergies myself already, or I could waste my time with this arena mode. There are other various little things that you could do in your castle as you unlock favor with the gods. You could do tavern brawls, you could kill off monsters just to gain their special abilities. You can fuse monsters together, you could forge armor, weapons, add special attributes to each one of those. But all of that is just filler to me. You could also have this PvP pub area where your team faces off against another team and you gain rewards. All of this is basically just a massive grind. So my verdict on this, and I'm going to go into depth why this game isn't as fun as the example I used at the start of the video. Here's why Monster Rancher is a fun and addictive game. The grinding part of the game is relaxing and easy, doesn't require much focus, and for the most part, it's fun. It's not a turn-based RPG like Final Fantasy. The combat is also fun in Monster Rancher. You hope your monster wins, not only because it lowers his life if he loses, but you might need the money, or it's a rank up match. You can also just watch your monsters fight. In this game, you can't. You have to set every action and command yourself. Why is it like, if I'm playing RuneScape for another example, I wouldn't want to watch my character chop down the same tree 800 times and level up. I'm going to be watching a movie or listening and watching a podcast or YouTube videos. So that just brings me to my final point. When the juice isn't worth the squeeze, it's not worth squeezing. And that is why I have to say, Siralim 3, you really should not waste your time with, unless you really love grinding endlessly. Thank you for watching. I waste my time so you don't have to. Hit that subscribe button and wait until the end because I have some subscriber goals that I thought up. So these subscriber goals are basically just a rough outline. I would love it if you guys left some, some more in the comment section for some future subscriber goals because right now I only have about 4. And 50 subs, which is my first milestone, you guys get to pick a review. No, R-rated pornography or anything like that. It could be a movie, it could be a game, it could be an anime, it could be a TV show, and I will give you the review for that. If it's a long-running TV show, I will probably only do about 1 or 2 seasons of it, just to get the general grasp of it and not do so many spoilers, because no one wants to get spoiled. And then 250 subs, you guys get to do the exact same thing, but for an entire month. And that's the plan. 1 review every week. That is the plan right now. So just hit that subscribe button, leave those comments, get this trending, and we could get that. 750 subs unlocks a permanent 750, I said, yeah. Sorry, my head's all over the place right now. I'm staying up pretty late. Every month, you guys get to pick a review. At the end of the month, At the beginning of the month, I'll release a video saying what do you guys want. You guys leave your comments, like the ones you want, and then at the end of that month, I will do the review. It's a special subscriber goal that will happen permanently on this channel. And then 1,500, I just thought about like a quick Q&A with like a face reveal and everything like that. So if you have any other sub goals in mind that I could do like in between the 250, 750, and then like between the 750 and the 1,500, I would appreciate that. And just remember to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, like. Thank you very much. Goodbye.